So how do you sell coaching if nobody knows who you are? This is one of the big problems beginners have, and it's actually not as complicated as it sounds. I found there's basically three things you can do. Regardless, you might have no social media, no nothing. Maybe you don't even have a business in existence yet. You've been an employee your whole life. None of that actually matters. If you just follow these three things I'm going to lay out for you guys today, you can start getting clients. It might be a little bit slow to start, but you'll pick up some momentum. And I would recommend, especially if you're brand new, no business experience whatsoever, make sure you've got a pen and a piece of paper to take some good notes, because the stuff I'm going to go over with you guys today is something that you can actually take action on. We're not going to talk big picture philosophy and the idea of coaching and all this nonsense. We're just going to get right into the meat and potatoes so you guys can get out there and make some money. And let's just get into the first most simple part. The first thing is you need to have some market research. You have to know what people are saying, what their problems are, what the solutions are for those problems, and how other people are already selling to those people. And this might sound complicated. Don't worry, you don't have to hire a consulting firm. You don't have to go on Upwork and find somebody to do a SWOT analysis for you. You could do this for free. If you have a phone, which I'd assume you do because you're watching this video, you just write the number 1 all the way down to 100 on a few pieces of paper, and you call 100 businesses and take notes on what they say. Now, most people do this wrong, and I'm going to tell you guys, I think I'm the first person to figure out how to do this in a way where I could ask any question I wanted to and get it answered by the person in charge. So let's say, as an example, your experience in life so far has been in real estate. What you're going to do is you're going to find the real estate people you want to sell to. So these might be real estate agents, or they might be loan officers or something like that. Okay? And what you do is you call them, and when their secretary picks up the phone, who has been trained to make sure you do not ever talk to anybody important, you're going to say these magic words. Hey, is John in? Or whatever the person's name. And the secretary says, yes. Who is this? Oh, this is, and I'm just going to say, my name is Jeremy. And you're going to say these magic words. Are you guys ready for this? I'm a student, and I'm putting together a report on real estate because I'm interested in real estate. And I saw John looks like he's been in the industry for a long time. I basically have 3 questions. If you could just put me through, I just want to ask these 3 questions so I can get this report together. Does that work? Now notice, I'm being very submissive. I'm like, well, I'm just doing this thing. Is that okay? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure I don't get that secretary red flagging me. I don't want her to think, oh, here comes another salesperson trying to sell us some magic pill that does everything in the world. I want that secretary to feel like I'm about to be her best friend. And the cool thing is, when I did this 10 years ago with real estate agents, guess what happened every time I said that? Well, let me check really quick for you. And they would transfer me over to John, the real estate agent. Now, the key to doing this right is to know ahead of time the 3 questions you need to ask. Now, when I would call, I would ask these questions. Number 1, I'd say, hey, John, I'm writing this report. What I'm trying to understand, I'm interested in real estate. I'm thinking maybe in a few years, I'll go into it. Can you just kind of tell me, how did you get into this? What was it that attracted you to real estate? And maybe even what have you found that's better about it since you started? And then I would mute myself and I would just let this guy talk and talk and talk. And I'd be taking notes while he was talking. And then after he finished, I'd say, oh, cool. So I'm sure not everything is good. What's the biggest pain in the ass that you guys have to deal with in real estate? What's the one thing that you're like, man, I wish this would just go away forever so I could just focus on, and I'd mention whatever the good stuff was that he just said that he liked about real estate. So notice I'm very strategically asking questions. I'm finding out what's good about this. What is the aspiration or the inspiration for this? Then I'm trying to find out what's bad. What are the pain points? What are the things that suck? And after he answered, if I didn't feel like it was sufficient, I'd say, well, what's the biggest problem? What's the hardest thing, when you're doing real estate? What is, the really challenging part of the job? and I'd take that. So notice I said 3 questions, but I already got 3 in before I even got to the 3rd question. And this is where being comfortable talking to people is super important, because I'm just having a conversation. I'm just a guy who's listening to an expert, right? And then I'd get to the 3rd question and I would say, well, if you don't mind, I know like maybe there's some personal stuff you don't want to say, but can you just kind of like walk me through, like, what does the everyday life of a real estate agent look like? Like, do you get up early? Do you stay up early? Like, do you do a lot of coffee dates or this stuff? Or like, what does your day look like, just like from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep? And I'd mute again and I'd take very, very detailed notes on how he ran his day. Now, I did that for 100 people, and I would recommend you guys do the same. And the reason is very important. It's crucial that you understand this. If you do this 100 times, there's gonna be things that people say with exactly the same words over and over and over again. You're going to find that, like I did when I was doing this for my marketing agency, you're going to find that what people do is they'll all say something almost exactly the same or really close. So when I was talking to a lot of real estate agents, it was crazy because I didn't ask them about Facebook ads, but they all felt the need to tell me that Facebook ads didn't work for real estate agents. So I found out something really interesting. The other thing is you start to get an idea of how these people live their lives. If you understand how somebody lives their life, you can start to kind of reverse engineer, okay, this is kind of what this person thinks. Like, this person is living in this way because they think this is the best way to live. And, if I got to that last question and I still felt like there was something else, I would throw in, at this point it would be 4, but it's actually 5. I'd throw in a 5th question and I'd say, well, what do you feel like if you were going to scale like 10x, like, which I'm sure we all want to make more money, but like, what would you have to do? Like, would you have to hire like a marketing team, or would you have to bring in more salespeople? Like, what do you feel like it would take to take your own business to like 10x the current sales and revenue? And that would be like the kicker for me, especially at that time I was running a marketing agency. I wanted to get an idea if these people were thinking about bringing in marketing people. I also wanted to know how good was the team they already had. If they said, yeah, if we had a really, awesome ads person, we could fill up our salespeople's pipelines and we'd be crushing it. So then I'd know, okay, the only problem in this specific company is they don't have someone that knows how to run ads. Or if they said, we need ads, we need this, we need billboards, we need this, then I know it's basically just this person by themselves. So I've got an idea of what their situation is. And I got all the information I needed to be able to sell people by just doing that 100 times. And by the way, this sounds crazy. It sounds like it might be hard work. It literally doesn't take that much time at all. It is so easy. I think it took me 4 days to call 100 people and conduct my market research. So the first thing you need to do if you want to sell without having any kind of presence or following or anything like that, nobody knows who you are or what you can do, is to do some good market research to get an idea of where are the people that you want to sell to, what are the problems that they're having, what are the things they love, what does their day look like. If you have a picture of what this person's life is like and what they're really looking forward to and what they want to do, you just have to connect the dots for them. Now the second thing is, I would highly recommend you guys find audiences that already exist and infiltrate their groups. That could be Facebook groups, it could be Reddit, it could be really in-person events. Anywhere where these people all congregate together, you want to go there. And the reason why is pretty simple. Would you rather sell one person or would you rather sell 50 people? The answer is obvious. 50 is always better than one. So you want to go where these people are already conversing. And really quick, I just want to pause. You guys, look, do yourself a favor really quick before we all forget. Hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell icon so you get notified, because especially if you're just starting out, I'm posting 3 of these long form videos every day, and I'm gonna train you guys on all the stuff that I did that helped me to do over 25 million in sales. Last year I was traveling full time. I did 2.5 million in sales. And I did that working part-time while I was traveling. So like when I tell you guys, do yourself a favor, it's not me being arrogant. It's me saying, hey, look, if you give me a chance and you give yourself a chance and you're willing to just put the work in, this stuff works. It works if you work it. But on this second point, what I'm getting at, you guys, is you want to get exposure to as many people as possible with the least amount of effort. You want the maximum amount of leverage. And the way to do this is not to go into a group and tell people what you do. The way to do this is to go into the group and demonstrate what you do. So if somebody's posting that they're having a specific problem and they're looking for help, go in there and answer it, help them. And a lot of people get worried, oh, well, what if I give it away for free? Like, what am I gonna sell? If you're a coach, you're always going to have to be in growth mode. You always have to be getting better. You'll always have something new that you can sell. Don't worry about it. The trick is if you give away like amazing stuff for free and you help people for free, it will be a million times easier to get them to actually pay for stuff because you've already made their life better, sometimes hundreds of times. There's people that I know have watched literally for the last 2 years, almost everything I've done on Instagram. I know because they periodically message me, oh man, I remember when this was going. I don't even remember it sometimes. They remember it better than I do because it made an impact on them. So you want to infiltrate where there's large groups of like-minded people that are in your target market and start solving problems. And then after you've done that for a few months, then I would start doing this third piece, which is start actually DMing the people in those groups. So the two paths for number 3 here, the two paths are DM the people you've already helped a bunch over the last couple of months. The second part is start just reaching out, just start calling. The cool thing about the modern world is everybody's scared of the telephone now, so nobody's using it, which means it's easier to get into contact with your ideal market. So if you go after real estate agents as an example, give them a call. If you go after construction companies or plumbing companies or electricians, or you go after other coaches or whatever it is, just find them using Google and call them. And it doesn't have to be that complicated. You call, you tell them what you do, and you say, if you give me a chance, you can give me 5 minutes, I can show you exactly how I can help your business do X, Y, and Z. And this is kind of one of the last points I want to make for you guys on this is you should have an actual promise. There should be something that you're saying, if you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to make an extra 10 grand next month. If you do this, we'll be able to drive an extra $1 million in revenue. If you do this, you'll stop smoking forever. Like if you're a hypnotherapist and you hypnotize people to quit smoking. So you always need to have some kind of promise, and it has to be tied back to one of the main areas of life. People need to be able to see that they're making more money, that they're losing more weight, that they're generally more happy, they're losing an addiction, they're cutting costs. Something has to happen where there's a noticeable difference, and ideally you want to be able to deliver that in 30 days or less. And so if your promise is to help a company make more money, they should see a jump in revenue in the first month. If you can't do that, you need to keep retooling your offer until you can, because people have short attention spans. They get to 30 days, they're like, well, we paid this guy 5 grand and we're literally down 5 grand. We're not even up any money. They're not gonna wait a long time. They might wait 60 days. You might get lucky, but a lot of people, they get to 30 days and they're like, well, I don't even know this guy. Like, why would I keep paying him? He's not in my office. It's not like he's my friend, nothing else, blah, 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 blah. So you need to set yourself up that whatever it is that you're doing it within the first 30 days. And I find with my own coaching clients, with my own marketing agency clients, what we try to do is we try to front load some of the work. So if I'm talking to somebody and I know they're gonna buy, I'm just like, this guy's a buyer. He's gonna come in. Like it might be this week, it might be in 3 weeks. He'll buy though. I start actually putting together the actual deliverables, the actual fulfillment starts happening before they even pay me. And the reason I do that, number one, is it builds goodwill because I'm showing them, hey, look, let's start doing this stuff. Here, take this, take this, take this. The second thing is, it builds reciprocity. They're like, man, this guy's already done all this stuff for free. Like, I feel bad about not paying him because he's obviously serious about helping us. And the final thing is, it makes it easy so that when they pay me and that 30-day timer starts counting down, I'm not rushing to get a bunch of stuff done on day one because I've already started doing it. So with whatever your coaching offer is, you need to set yourself up that when you actually get that sale, you can immediately start delivering value that makes a difference. So front load the best stuff. Don't save it for later when they have already canceled because they didn't get what they were looking for. Front load the best stuff. And if you're doing one-on-one coaching, which I wouldn't really recommend unless they're paying 10 to 100 grand, if you're doing one-on-one coaching, make sure that you're not just doing the call with the client, but you're giving them homework and that they're checking in. If they're not checking in and you're not checking in, out of sight, out of mind. It just becomes another thing they paid for that they didn't fulfill on. And as a coach, it's your responsibility to push people to get stuff done. If you're not pushing them and they're not holding themselves accountable, you are an expense, not an asset. You're a liability. You cost them money. You don't, like an asset, make them money. So make sure that whatever it is that you do, you front load as much as possible and you're holding the client accountable to get the results that they need. And if you guys haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button. By the way, I don't really like doing this because people are like, oh, I don't like the guys pitching and stuff. Look, I have a course. I took my 15 years of sales experience and condensed it down to 23 modules. The link is in the description. If you're interested, great, check it out. If you're not, it's fine. It's fine. At one point in my life, I was donating plasma to pay my bills. I couldn't even buy courses. I had to watch YouTube videos. We've all been in places where we didn't have the money. But if you're really serious about getting damn good, especially at selling coaching offers, my last 3 years has been selling only $100,000 plus offers. And everything I learned from selling those offers is in these 23 modules, and it talks exactly about how to sell so that when you're done selling and they pay, people tell you, I never even felt like I was being sold. If that's the response you're getting after your sales calls, you're on the right track. If people are like, man, why are you so pushy? Not gonna happen. So that link is in the description. It's also easy to go to. It's stealthcloser.com/start. And I hope this has been helpful for you guys. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. I answer those myself. My assistant doesn't do that. She wouldn't be able to help anyways. I'll see you guys on the next video.